Okay, I'm back in business. So in this case, it used to be called Cooler, but now they call it color CC. Um, and really, you export out of this as a palette, okay, or a color swatch. If you remember inside of Illustrator, you can have your own color swatches, right? You make your own little color theme. And inside Photoshop, you got the same thing. You can have a color swatch with color boxes. In Dreamweaver, you really can't have a color box. I've been struggling to try and figure out an easy way to bring them in, and I haven't really found an easy way to bring them in from Cooler. In the earlier versions of Dreamweaver, they had what we call an extension. What an extension is a kind of like a plug-in that you add to the program to add capabilities to the program. But I remember it being there, but now I can't find it. So I'm not sure. I'll have to do a little bit more research on how to bring the colors that we choose in from here into Dreamweaver. Probably the easiest way is to write the hexadecimal value down, because you only have 5 colors when you're choosing in this program. I mean, how hard is it to write down the hashtag, 33CCFF? And what color is that?
Sky blue.
Light sky blue, my favorite color. Okay, let's look at how this works. How Cooler works is you have different ways. You can adjust the color wheel by just clicking on and moving them around. The nice thing about it is you can move them in to get more tints. It shows you in dynamic way of adjusting colors. Down here you can also adjust the colors by moving them around down here. Notice how it moves multiple colors at the same time. If you want to move one color at a time, you can. What did I do? It clicked on it. It kind of adjusted it. Maybe it flips it. You can also type your hexadecimal value in. What did I say? I liked 33CCFF. Hit Tab on the keyboard, and there's my light sky blue right here. Okay, so you can type in the hexadecimal. Of course, what is white? FFFF. Oh, you can delete the color down here. FFFFFF. Tab. It's white. So you can type in the hexadecimal values you want down here. You can actually type in the red, green, and blue. Notice how when you're down here, you got red, green, and blue. You can also type in your cyan, magenta, yellow, black, and I know we don't really use cyan, magenta, yellow, black in web design, but it's there, especially if you're choosing something for something you would make inside of Illustrator doing print work or something like that. So you can actually adjust it. Now I believe that the cyan, magenta, yellow, black would be in percentages, right? You go up to 100%, where the RGB goes up to 255, right? Because there's 256 values of each red, green, and blue. Okay, and the reason why it goes up to 255 is because 0 is the number, well, they count 0. So it goes from 0 to 155. So then you'll have 156 choices. 256 choices, I'm trying to say. So it goes up to 255 will be 100%. See, 255. I don't think you can put in 256. No. You can't put in 256. So again, if you want white, you would put in 255, 255, 255, 255. That doesn't look quite white, all the way white. But again, the lab here, okay, stands for the luminous is L, A, B is probably brightness. What is A?
Absolute.
What's that?
Absolute.
Yeah, I'm not sure. H stands for hue, saturation, and B for brightness. I'm not sure lab. I don't know. I'm not sure what lab stands for. And then, of course, we already know the hexadecimal values. My favorite, 33CCFF. In addition, as you're choosing these colors, all the programs, and let me just show you, if you're in Photoshop, you're in Illustrator, you're in any of these applications, I'm in Photoshop, I'm over here choosing a color. Look, right here is the same hexadecimal value, 33CCFF. There's my light sky blue. So in any of the Adobe products, you'll have your hexadecimal value anywhere, and then you can make relationships, right? Let's say I have the logo blue for the Zircon products, right? That has a certain blue. I can use that and type it into Dreamweaver. I can use that blue, type it in Photoshop if I'm making a graphic. So these hexadecimal values you see here and the hexadecimal values that you're choosing on the web page all relate. They're all the same. Of course, you can look at your hexadecimal values. I think we already saw that at Wikipedia. Right. Oops. Hexadecimal. Where's the color? Color. Hexadecimal. Here we go. Color. Again, you can see the actual color display. And how many colors was in the web palette? We didn't do that. 216 colors in the web palette, what they call the web palette. Again, you can do the... One of the downfalls of what Dreamweaver used to do is they would use this 3-digit hexadecimal. I think they've gone back inside of Dreamweaver to using the full 6-digit hexadecimal. But in the early days of Dreamweaver, probably around CS, in CS1 or CS2, they started going to this kind of 3-digit hexadecimal, and it was very confusing because when I would be using Dreamweaver, I wanted to type in a color. I was used to using the 6-digit number. And then when Dreamweaver started using the 3-digit number, and the reason why they did it was to save on memory, they said, because the memory it takes to store the 3-digit one is less than it does to store the 6-digit one. But in Dreamweaver, you know, my brain was still wired to think of the hexadecimal values in 6 digits. So it was hard for me to see that. I think they might have gone back to using the 6 digits in Dreamweaver. We'll have to choose some colors and see. Again, you have your normal colors. You can actually put in Dreamweaver. You can use the name right here. You can actually use the word silver. Inside of you know, the CSS3, you know, cascading style sheets, the newer version, they want you to use more of the HSV or the HSL coding. So you'll see that also inside of Dreamweaver. Again, you have your hexadecimal values right here. You can choose any one of these if you want. You wanted to use the medium aquarium. You can actually copy these codes right here. Go back to the color wheel inside of Cooler, and you can type in or place that number in there without the spaces, of course. Hit Tab on the keyboard, and there's the color right there. Okay, so there's different ways of choosing colors over here. You got the monochromatic, the triad, the complementary, the compound, the shades, and the custom. Okay, the custom is where you can choose your own kind of dots, how many you want. Over here, shades is one color with different values of that one color. Quite nice. I kind of like that purplish action there. Compound is where, of course, you have multiple ones. And then you have complementary, which is opposite each other with different tints. The complementary works well when you want to accent color. Sometimes, though, opposite accents are not going to work very well, right? You really don't want to have a purple color scheme with too much yellow as an accent. I mean, that's very contrast. Especially, you know, using red with green. Ooh, that'd be hard on your eyes, especially in a web page. The triad, I kind of like the tints, like using the colors towards the middle here, using this kind of, instead of highly saturated colors. Again, I do use a highly saturated color in my design, but it's used very sparingly, right? It's just used for the menu at the top. The rest is all white, flowing, In fact, my original one actually had a box going around the whole thing, and it was just like, I don't know what I was thinking with a line. You know, remember the border? I had like one big border going around the whole thing, and it was boxed in. I don't know what I was thinking. And it always takes people, you know, and in fact, what I'll do next week is I'll show you the evolution of this page and where it started and where it needed to be. I hired 2 students from Mission to make this page for me, actually. They had the original idea, and I morphed it into something new. But again, no boxes, too many boxes, edges, things flow, white, blue color scheme. Kind of like, you know, things like that. So once you, and let's move on, we're running out of time here. The other beautiful thing about this program is that you have this option right here, which is you can choose colors from an image. Okay, so let's say you walk into a room and say, oh, I love the color scheme of this room. You can take a photo of that color scheme, put it on your computer, somewhere on your computer, click on this button right here. It says Create from Image. You can click on the Create from Image, go to your computer, find that image. Oh, remember the apples from last class? We were using apples. I'm going to choose an apple picture. Hit Open. What it'll do is it will go through, and you can actually choose the colors from, and here's the picture right here. You can choose the colors from inside of your photo. Okay? So, you know, a nice use of this is that you can, I love the colors of this room. I can see visions, you know, you walk into a room, you're like, oh, this is a great color scheme. Take a picture. It's just a little picture icon right here. You click on it and then choose a color from, choose a photo, and you can use that. Perfect for your apples. There we go. It was up here in the corner. It looks like a little camera icon. Looks like a little camera. In addition, they have a mobile app, Cooler mobile app. Does the same thing. I had a link to the mobile app, but I like I said, I linked up the wrong document today. That mobile app does the same thing. The advantage of using the Color mobile app is that, of course, you got a camera in your mobile phone. You can automatically just take a picture and start doing that right on your phone, choosing the colors. Once you choose the colors that you like I said, there's a couple ways of getting it out of the Cooler. There's a save option over here, but you have to sign in. You have to sign in. If you have an Adobe account, you probably all should have an Adobe account right now. Even if you don't own the CC Suite, you probably can sign up for a free account. And we won't stay signed in, maybe. Once you sign in, you'll have options over here. You got private, delete, favorite, share, edit, download, report abuse. Okay. If you hit, I logged into my Adobe account. This one right here, I hit the save button. There's a save option over here. Here, I'll go back to create. Okay, here. I love this color scheme. Look at this one. Quite nice. Perfect for my my thing. I can hit the save button over here. Did you see save on yours? Hit save. And then I'm already logged in. It might ask you to log in. I logged in already. Then I have my actions over here. Over here. Now, probably the easiest way to do this is to download it. But the problem with downloading it, again, is it's going to save in the color palette, the ASE, which is like a color swatch that you import into Illustrator or Photoshop. I haven't found a way to download it into Dreamweaver directly yet. I'm sure there's a way. I just need to find a way. Probably the easier way to deal with the colors instead of just saving them on your computer is to write down the hexadecimal values. Oh, you can give it a name if you want. This is my great theme. Once you're done, you can go to where it says My Themes right here. See where it says My Themes? And all your previous themes are there. These are ones that I've done over the years. See them? These are ones that I've done over the years. This is the one I just did. Again, you can download it. But again, it's going to be the color palette. I don't know, this copy link, edit, and then I don't know. The best probably is just to use the color, write the hexadecimal values right here and just use them. I don't know. I will try my best to figure out how to use this inside of.
How do you get the hexadecimal from this one?
What's that?
How do you get the hexadecimal number from?
Under my themes, I chose which one I wanted. So I've saved several, as you can see, over the years.
But
And,
if you save, you got the action. But how can you say, I don't want to save, I just wanted to know the number of this.
oh, under the create.
If you go from the if you go back to the camera one, can you bring in the picture again?
Yeah.
You brought in my picture, it gave you an option. Then click on the colors. Now click on that icon on the right. No, the little icon where the camera was before. Click on that. Now go down. It gives you those colors.
Oh, there you go. Back to the color wheel. So again, they call it Color CC now. You can save themes. You can share themes. You can view themes. You can go to Explore and see other people's themes. You want to share somebody else's theme? There's a lot of them in there. You can click on a theme, hit edit, and there you go. You got your hexadecimal values down here. So under Explore is where other people's most popular themes, let's look at those. Ooh, look at that one. Honeypot, Aspirin, there's a good one. Seawolf, Cherry, Granny, Granny Smith, Tech Office, Pistachio, Bogart. Okay. Any questions about color? I don't know. You're just going to have to try it. I will try and figure out how to bring it into Dreamweaver the best I can. I don't know. Yes?
When you download it, does it usually go to like Illustrator or where would it?
Yeah, so when you download it, it's going to give you a color swatch. So let's look at that. Let me hide this. Oh, there was an add color swatch. Add two swatches, color libraries. Hold on. Picker. No. Color libraries, add to swatch. No, I don't want to do that. There's a way to load. I did it in Illustrator, but not Photoshop. There's got to be a way to bring it in to Photoshop. There's colors, colors, colors. I'm in color. Oh, it was open already. Color. Here's swatches. Load swatches. My color theme. And here it is here. I think, let me do it again. Load swatches, choose my color theme, hit open, but I'm not sure where it goes. I guess it's these ones here, the last ones right here. And in Photoshop, you should be able to make a new theme. No, that's giving you a swatch name. Illustrator, you can make folders inside here. So again, to bring it into Photoshop, it's under the swatches option in Photoshop, load swatches, save swatches for exchange, replace swatches, reset swatches. Oh. Okay, let me try again. Load swatches, choose my theme, and it's these ones right here. See them, the last 5? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last 5 right here. These are the ones that I had inside of Cooler right there. See them? In Illustrator, you have the same idea. Oh, they even have Cooler built right into Illustrator right here. You can actually search for your color schemes. You can see my color schemes are already being integrated in there. See them right here? Because I'm logged in. So you have Cooler already integrated into there. Do you got Photoshop? They got Cooler right in here? I don't think so. I don't remember seeing Cooler inside of Photoshop. But in Illustrator, you should have the Cooler, and since I'm logged in, my themes are already being showed up inside of Illustrator. Do you see that? Since I'm logged in, it's under Window, Cooler. If you want to bring your theme into, without using that, inside of Illustrator, if you go to the swatches option inside of Illustrator, swatches? You can say Open Swatch Library, Other Library, Open Swatch Library, Other Library. Go and find your downloaded color theme, and here it is. So you can use the swatch inside of Illustrator by going under the Open Swatch Library, Other Library, and then choose the swatch that you've downloaded from Cooler. Again, though, Cooler is integrated right here into
Can you drag it in from Cooler, the swatches?
the swatches in from, well, they're already here inside of Illustrator. You mean drag it where? I'm sorry.
Can you drag it into swatches?
Well, I think they're already here. I don't know. It's in Cooler. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I think you could just choose it. If I was inside of Illustrator making something, if I could open it up, and if I'm making something in Illustrator, I could probably just choose the color. Maybe not. Color swatches? No. Oh, I choose. There, you can just click on it. Again, it gives you the RGB values as well as the hexadecimal values inside of here, down here. Okay, everybody cool with that? Okay, let me stop this video. Again, to do the swap image inside of Dreamweaver, I'm going to make all the images at the same time, 225 by 225. Okay, so I make them both the same exact dimensions. Again, 72 DPI, 225 by 225. So both apples are the same. So I'm going to save both of them. The naming is not that important. In Dreamweaver. And then this one, I'm going to save again. No, save again. In addition, like I said, you can do things like for navigational bars. In early days, we would make a navigational bar. I'm just going to make a graphic that's kind of long and skinny graphic. Ooh, that's pretty big. What am I doing? What am I doing? 100. Oh, inches. No wonder I'm going crazy here. Inches. I want pixels. So we got 100 pixels wide by 40 pixels high. So in the early days of doing things, what you could do is the same technique that I'm showing you now, where I could have a graphic that you couldn't really make in CSS3. So, oh, I can't really make this in CSS3. So, Oh my. There's my light sky blue. There we go. Okay, so in CSS3 you really can't have a nice kind of brush stroke background. Can you see that pink in the background a little bit? Not really? Let me change that a little bit. There we go. Let me change that. Oh, we were happy with green earlier. There we go. Can you see the green in the background? Okay, there we go. Green in the background. So I could make a graphic like this inside of Photoshop, and I can save that. It can be a JPEG or a GIF in this case. And this is going to be button 1. Then I can make a separate part of it. I'm going to change the background a little bit. Let's put some blue back there. Let's change the font color a little bit. Let's change the font color a little bit. Okay, so I have 2 graphics. Okay, 2 separate graphics. 2 separate graphics. I'm going to save those as a JPEG too. And I'm going to get over to Dreamweaver. So again, the reason why I'm showing you this now is because we've been talking about graphics, and last week we were doing photos and backgrounds and things like that. This is one way that you could use JavaScript to alter your graphic, And so we have, again, 2 different images. We have 2 apples that are the same size and 2 images of text. Okay, so how can I use them inside of Dreamweaver? So if I go over to Dreamweaver, I'm going to show you the JavaScript to do this. And don't worry about following along and anything. I'm making a video of this. You can go and watch it again. Okay? I'm recording this. So again, inside of Dreamweaver, I'm going to make a new file. So in this case, probably the most simple way of doing the apple switching, is to use the insert image rollover image. Insert image rollover image. So what is this going to tell you? Well, if you click on that, it's going to give you an option. First, the option is to give it a name. When you're doing programming, oh, did I save my file? Oh, it's best to save before you start. Hold on, let me save. Because it needs to write some programming and it's going to need to put it somewhere. So let me save this file. This is rollover sample. Okay, again, this is a very simple way of doing things. It's under Insert, Image, Rollover Image. In this case, you give it a name. This is Apple over. Just Apple. Now, again, you have 2 images. One is the original image, which again, in this case, will be an apple. And the second one is a rollover image, which is the apple 2. So you choose one for here and one over. One of the things it also does automatically using JavaScript is that it will load it before it does the coding. And the reason why, you see where it says preload image, because you don't want the user rolling over an image and having it switch to something that isn't there. It has to download. So it's going to preload these into memory. Of course, since this is image, it needs some alternative text. This is my apple. And then if you want a link to it, like when the person clicks on the apple, you can have it go somewhere. I could have it go to an address. I don't know, apple.com. I guess we'll go to Apple Computers. If you hit OK, it's going to bring in your apple. See my apple? If I save it and I preview it, it'll change. Now, they're a little bit different colors, a little different sizes, but the image is the same size, but of course one has more white around the outside than the other one. So again, this is done using JavaScript. If you want to see the code that it's using inside of Dreamweaver, if you look in the code view, you can see the JavaScript that is being written. There's an onLoad function, which is part of JavaScript, which tells it to load the graphic. You'll notice there's the onMouseOut. onMouseOut. There's the onMouseOver. onMouseOver. And so this is, and then here is the JavaScript above here. So you'll notice it writes pretty sloppy JavaScript here. I could have done this probably in about 2-3 lines of code. It didn't need to write all this. So again, a lot of people don't like Dreamweaver for one reason, and that is the code is all kind of bloated, right? So if you knew how to write JavaScript, you could have done the same exact thing with probably 3 lines of code instead of 28 or whatever it is. So I think I mentioned that at the very beginning of the class like a couple weeks ago when we first started, and I had my list of what was some of the downfalls of Dreamweaver. Downfall of Dreamweaver is bloated code. Okay, bloated code. You didn't really need all that to do that. But that's one part of the graphics. Again, you could have done, let's do it again. Let's do it again with the menu item, that little menu I made. But this time we're not going to use the swap image. I'm going to do it through the JavaScript functions that are built into the application. Let's look at those. And you might want to consider using some of these because they can do things that, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of them as we do it. So let's do it a different way. This time we're going to do it a different way. This time I'm going to use a different method. This method, you have to put something on the screen first. Okay, so I'm going to put one of the images on the screen first. So I'm going to go under Image, Insert Image, and I'm going to put, remember the button one I had? I think I had a button, I made a little graphic inside of Photoshop. I'm going to put a button on first. Okay, once I have it on the screen, it needs to have some substance to it. And what is some of the substance to it? In order to apply JavaScript to certain things, you need to tell it to do something. Sometimes JavaScript is applied when the page is loaded. Sometimes the JavaScript is applied when things are clicked on. Sometimes JavaScript is applied when somebody rolls over something. And we'll actually have something that you can drag too. There's JavaScript where you can drag something. You might see websites, right, where you can move things around, right? Right? There's a JavaScript for dragging something. Okay? We can do that too. So in this case, once I put my text on there, my graphic on there, remember it's just an image. I wanted to insert image, and I just inserted an image. I'm going to put a hashtag in the link. Hashtag. Now I'm calling it hashtag now. I used to call it the pound sign, but everybody's like, that's a hashtag. Okay, so it's a hashtag now. So I'm calling it hashtag from now on. If I say pound sign, that's what I mean. Those are my students in a different class that I'm teaching that were giving me a hard time with that. It's a hashtag. We're all Twitter people now, I guess. So again, put the hashtag and the link for this graphic. What that'll do is then prepare to apply JavaScript to it. Okay, that prepares it to apply JavaScript to it. The other way I'm going to do it is underneath behaviors. Behaviors. Behaviors is an early way of writing JavaScript inside of Dreamweaver. It's an early way of writing JavaScript in Dreamweaver. And it's still useful today. You know, some people might say this is old school, but it's a tool that is there and you might need it for some reason. In this case, since I have an image, you'll notice it's recognizing it as an image tag. If I click on the plus button over here, you'll see some of the JavaScript that you can do and apply. You can call a JavaScript, which just tells it to do some JavaScript something. You can change a property to it, which is size or something like that, border. You can check for a plugin to see if they have Flash installed. You ever get a web page and it says, hey, you need Flash, right? You can check for plugins. We'll do some of those. You can drag an element. Now, I can't drag this because it's an image, but remember that before when we were making divs and you were making those boxes, right? Those boxes for your divs? You can actually drag a div around. Okay, that's where it says drag. Do you see that? You can drag a div around. And then we have effects, blind, bounce, clip, drop, fade, hold, highlight, puff. I don't know what that is. Pulsate, scale, shake, slide. Usually these are applied not necessarily to a graphic, but to the div tag. I would probably apply these to a div tag. You can have a go to URL, which tells it to go somewhere. You can open browser window. That's what open a window when you can pop up a message, preload the image, set text, show hide element, swap image. Okay, so just like we did before, remember I talked about swapping image. Okay, when we did the rollover effect, mouse over. So this way I can say swap image, and it's going to ask me what name. Oh, I haven't given this a name yet, did I? Oh, I got to give it a name before I do this. Sorry. After you put a hashtag in down here for the link, also give it a name. I'm going to call it food. Food. Sorry. Down here you should give it a name too. Before you even go to behaviors, give it a name. Again, I'm going to do the swap image one. Here's my food right here. Set your source to what you want it to swap to. I want it to swap to the button 2, the second one. Then it says restore image on mouse out, and I can hit OK, and it'll automatically go back to normal. So again, instead of using the insert image, rollover image, I'm using the behaviors, and I'm applying a JavaScript a different way. And if I preview it now, I got my apple changing, and I got my button changing there. Okay, so I know it's kind of old school way of doing it, but it's perfectly still useful today, and all modern browsers will still take effect. It's part of graphics. You might want to do a rollover effect using JavaScript.
Jeff, when you added the new image that you were rolling over, did you give it a name somehow? I missed that.
No, not the new one that you're rolling over to, but the one you originally placed on the screen, this one,
Yeah, no.
you should give it an ID right here.
But the other one you don't give a name?
No, you don't. It's just a file that's on your computer. The only name it has in this image right here is right here. This is the name of the file. Okay.